SaveWithConrad.com.
Yeah, I'm Justin Ruffin from Knoxville, Tennessee. What got me to Save with Conrad was the 83 Weeks podcast. I really wasn't thinking about getting rid of any debt. I just wanted to cash out some equity in the house to do remodeling. But I did both, so that was pretty awesome. Worked out great. Redid the foyer, built pantry space, and there's little odds and ends when I first bought the house that I wanted to take care of, and we were able to take care of it. So, yeah, paid off 2 cars and some credit card debt. So probably all in all, get $30,000 in that. And then I got some $30,000 more equity out of the house, and still plenty of equity left over. So payment's good. I lowered my interest rate. I'm in a much better spot than I was. Super easy. Everybody was great. Very, very awesome people. Francis and Steve were great to work with. They were awesome. Made it for a very easy, seamless experience. I'd probably say all in all, probably $1,000 a month at least. I'm lowered my interest rate, especially the way the interest rates are right now, which is, that's amazing. I'm Justin Bruckman from Knoxville, Tennessee. I saved over $1,000 with SaveWithConrad.com, and I did a lot of renovations with that money as well.
NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. SaveWithConrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad the Mortgage Guy, and you're listening to Grilling JR with the voice of professional wrestling, Mr. Jim Ross. Jim, how are you, man?
I'm great, bud. Great. Good to see you. Your cheerful cheeks are just fantastic.
Well, I'm excited to be here with you. We are excited. We're going to be watching some pretty kick-ass pro wrestling brought to you by Honor Club. Stay tuned. We've got a special treat for you. It's going to be Cody Rhodes teaming with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. What an 8-man tag that is, to take on Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, Okada, and Will Ospreay. Arguably a Hall of Fame match. And it went on nearly 10 years ago, February 27th, 2017. So 9 years ago, almost to the day. Pretty excited for us to watch that one. It's a throwback from Ring of Honor, and it's available now on Honor Club. Before we talk about that, though, I want to touch on some of the news and headlines from the last week or so. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but over the weekend, WWE presented their Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, or as your pal Tony Schiavone called it, the Chamber of Commerce pay-per-view. And in the Chamber of Commerce, it wasn't Cody Rhodes. I think everybody expected Cody to win. He was the betting favorite going in. Instead, it was Randy Orton. Now, of course, I guess this means tomorrow night on SmackDown, as folks are listening to this, it's going to be Cody versus Drew McIntyre for the world title. So maybe Cody still sneaks into the main event, but people were expecting Randy Orton to not be victorious. They just assumed it would be Cody, but Randy gets the nod. What do you think of this?
I liked it. Quite frankly, I liked it. I think, the thing about Randy, you can always go back to him. And as long as you don't let him get stale and disappear, he's money for you. So, he's just getting better and better. It seems to me like, and God, he's put on some size. I think did you think he was bigger than he has been lately?
Yeah. I think when he's come back from this most recent injury, like when he made his return, I don't know, a couple of Survivor Series ago, it felt like we had a 300-pound Randy Orton. I mean, he looks as muscular and as big as ever, phenomenal shape, especially knowing he's had spinal fusion done. You got to be pulling for that guy. But allegedly, a lot of fans think that this is going to wind up with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, a story that started way back at the very beginning of Cody's WWE career as maybe a night one WrestleMania main event. I think that sounds interesting. Would you prefer that or some sort of a multi-man solution with Drew McIntyre in the mix?
I've kind of got turned off by the multi-man thing. I don't hate them. I don't dislike them. It's just I guess I could say, for the lack of a better term, bored with them. They're predictable, and a lot of people are using multi-man matches, and so it's not as special as it used to be. I remember the first few I booked multi-man matches. You had to do something with Austin and Rock and Taker's available, and it's just There's just a lot of them. So I prefer a one-on-one title match. I prefer one-on-one and see where it takes us. So I that's my thoughts on that, Connie. But I think Orton is a good choice. I mean, hell, he's reliable. He's dependable. Somebody's pulled up to my yard. Oh, Steven. Steven, the missing link. Steven's healthy. Steven's healthy now, Conrad. So we got a little blessing there. That's good for me on my side.
Behind the scenes, I want to remind everybody, Steven Link is the go-to man that powers jrsbbq.com. So whenever you get something shipped to you, autographed by JR, or maybe you get some of his tasty treats, it was all put there by Steven Link. Go grab yours right now at jrsbbq.com. He's got not one, but two types of barbecue sauce. He's got a hot sauce. He's got an all-purpose seasoning. He's even got autographed collectibles. You can get autographed books and trading cards and so much more. All available now at jrsbbq.com. And I think one of JR's favorite things to remind people about is, hey, the store never closes and it never costs anything to look, right, Jim?
Looking's free. And it's just we're easing into the official barbecue season for most normal people. Some of us like to step outside and cook all year round. I've cooked when it was snowing. I've grilled when it was snowing. That's why I had a kitchen built, and it works out real well. But in any event, barbecue season is here, and let's get it done. And it reminds me, I've got to go buy some flank steak. I love flank steak, and it's healthy. It's easy to cook and manage on the grill. So life is good. Here we are talking about food. It's like a food show.
Well, it always feels like a food show when you're hooking it up at jrsbbq.com. Be sure to check that out. Jim, we did see, seemingly Randy Orton confirm at least one more WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
I'm excited that we're going to see that. We know he's had a bunch, but this one feels like it's past due. I hate that maybe Drew lost his opportunity, but I am excited to see if this means we get Cody and Randy in a main event position. I, like you, would probably prefer the whole, mano a mano thing.
Yeah.
But I think something that's interesting is it certainly felt like in storyline that Nick Aldis maybe is going to have an opportunity as acting GM to have a match with Drew McIntyre. Now, nobody's suggesting that that's the direction they're heading, but it does feel like, since we know that both of these guys have been friends for a long time and they're familiar with each other and they're comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
We've seen, you have a top star wrestle a GM. I know that Nick Aldis has never put the tights on in WWE, but I could get excited about Nick Aldis versus Drew McIntyre. It feels like it could be an interesting story. Would you be interested in that one?
Absolutely. Because, we've talked about it here on the show for years now. Wrestling fans like new and they like surprises. Well, Aldis and McIntyre would certainly be new.
Yes.
And as you pointed out, they have their backgrounds, both being from the UK. Their matches are going to be good because they've got something to prove. It's a UK thing, and it's a chance to get on the main stage as a main event guy in a one-on-one match. So I wouldn't have a problem with that whatsoever.
I, for one, hope it happens. Big fan of both guys. Would love to see Nick get his opportunity in WWE. I think he's done a fabulous job as a general manager. But I think that a lot of people have probably slept on his in-ring stuff just because they didn't see it in TNA or they didn't see it in the NWA. But if we've got a real story and there's real emotion and there's real familiarity and trust there, boy, what a performance it could be. I got my fingers crossed. I hope that's the direction it goes. But boy, I think a lot of people had their hopes dashed this past Saturday night. I thought it was cool. I got a kick out of it. I understood it. But I think a lot of people were disappointed that inside the big box, I mean, that was the talk of wrestling for the last 6 weeks or so. What's in the box? And the answer was Danhausen. Some people were suggesting, oh, it's Chris Jericho, or it's The Rock, or it's Stone Cold, or who knows what people expected. But Danhausen it was.
Yeah.
And I thought it was fun for what it was. I didn't have a different expectation, but I saw some people who I just don't think got it. Like I saw
Yeah.
somebody comment online saying, "Man, what a pathetic pyro!" And it's like that's the idea. You're missing the point. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm in on the joke, and maybe I just like Danhausen. What'd you think?
Nonplussed, underwhelmed. I'm not knocking Danhausen. He's a good kid. He got his heart's in the right place. He's motivated. I hope that he finds success. He's a nice guy, nice as hell. So, but I have to be honest with you. You asked me, I'm honest here. I just thought it was a little underwhelming. It was it's like WrestleMania, for God's sakes. You just don't. I don't know. It put Danhausen in a tough spot. Was he ready for that moment? I don't think he was. I think there's a lot of people that didn't even know who the hell he was.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the idea. I think they wanted to make a splashy introduction. I know he's going to sell a bunch of merch, just like a Mr. Iguana. I think he definitely has his place in wrestling. I think people were probably a victim of their own mismanaged expectations. I think
Conrad, that's good. That's smart. Mismanaged expectations.
Yeah.
That could be applicable to a lot of things in pro wrestling nowadays. Mismanaged expectations. That's a good term.
You know, we've seen it for years where promotions will say they've got a huge announcement, this so and so or what have you, and then the announcement comes and you're like, oh man, when they said huge, I kind of thought it might be XYZ. And so now, even though the announcement is great and it's positive, I think fans may have worked themselves up and thinking it was going to be something that it wasn't. So we'll see. But I got my fingers crossed for Danhausen. I know the very next night, or I guess it was 2 nights later, on Monday Night Raw, we saw him curse Dominic Mysterio. And Dominic Mysterio went out and promptly lost the Intercontinental title to Penta. Penta is the new Intercontinental champion. He wept in the ring afterwards. I guess he had wanted to be a champion in WWE for a long time, and now it's happened. Of course, he made his.
He's a good hand. He's a good hand, Conrad. He's. I've never seen him in a real bad match, and he does a lot of things that lead to mistakes, seemingly. But he's a talented kid. He's a talented kid, and good for him. You know, the only thing people are going to say about that is his lack of proficiency speaking the English language. Can he make promos in this talking age? And that's something that time will tell. It's up to him. You know, it's not something new, or he just discovered, oh yeah, they kind of want me to speak some English. Of course they do. Of course they do. Their global audience is not all, obviously, but a lot are English speaking. Is the English speaking audience. So we'll see how that reign goes. It's kind of going under the radar. If it brings some awareness to the title, then it's a winner. It's a winner. So we'll see. Dominic Mysterio's been an amazing development. He's a lot better than I ever thought he would be. And I say that in all due respect. I love Ray. He's one of my dear friends, and I hired Ray back in the day, which is an interesting recruiting story. So I hope that it works out for everybody, including Penta, who's kind of the forgotten man in this equation.
It is going to be interesting to see what WrestleMania looks like. Penta is the new Intercontinental champion. You know, they're going to have big plans for some sort of showcase for him at WrestleMania. And they are on a collision course. You know, we're, I guess, about 6 weeks away from WrestleMania. And I know that WWE is trying to figure out, how do we move these tickets? We've been talking about this for the last few weeks. I guess it was announced a few weeks ago that it's blacked out and you won't be able to attend any sort of watch along parties at bars or restaurants in the Vegas area. You have to buy a ticket to go to WrestleMania. And the following week they said, all right, we're going to put tickets on sale this weekend only. They're 25% off. And that didn't seem to move very many tickets. And now this week they've announced a partnership with NASCAR. So if you're going to the NASCAR event in Las Vegas in March, now there's an opportunity for you to get a combo offer and pick either Saturday or Sunday night of WrestleMania. It looks like WWE is trying to pull out all the tricks here to fill the stadium. Will it work in the end, Jim?
I think what's the key to it, in my opinion, Conrad, is what they put on television to add more piss and vinegar to the television show and get people talking. And right now, they don't have a lot of people talking, and I think that's it's the wrong time to not have the momentum that you seek. So it's going to be interesting. I think the walk-up business will be strong. That's always been the heart and soul of pro wrestling is the walk up. I know when I used to buy advertising, I would buy advertising like radio advertising for an event. I'd buy it for a heavy buy on the on sale. When tickets go on sale, because a ticket in the hand is what you're looking for. They just, you know, the on sale, the walk up is key. The key to the walk up is going to be to get somebody hot and create a story, either create a new storyline or something that's a spin off of an existing storyline, but it's all coming from television. Television is your heartbeat. Television is what it's all about. So the hotter they make their television, hot shotted, if you will, whatever, the better off I think they'll be.
Let's switch gears here and talk about some other news that just happened this morning. I don't know that you've had a chance to review this, but as we're recording on Wednesday afternoon, there's a report that's come out that Mance Warner and Steph DeLander, who we've most recently seen involved with TNA Wrestling, they both quit the promotion with TNA. So I think a lot of people are just assuming, well, hey, maybe we'll see them next, either in NXT or in AEW, or perhaps Ring of Honor. I guess as the story goes, and I don't have this confirmed, but this is the scuttlebutt. I guess TNA doctor said they would not clear Steph DeLander for return, although she had been cleared by WWE's doctor. So you ran talent relations for a long time. Is there a time you can think about in your history and sort of look back and remember a time when, hey, WWE's doctor was saying one thing, but their own doctor was saying another? How did you handle that way back when in WWE?
Well, you got to have a clearinghouse. You've got to have somebody to make the final call. And my responsibility as the head of talent relations for WWE was to rely on the team's doctors, best doctors around, specialists if you need it. If you need surgery, you get the best surgery. So I relied on the WWE resources medically to answer my questions, because it makes it fair. You got to have like I said, you got to have a clearinghouse, and you can certainly get into some argumentative situations trying to communicate with a talents doctor and the team doctor. You know, obviously, we're not going to put anybody in the ring that's not safe, that could hurt themselves or somebody they're working with, whatever the case may be. But you got to have that go-to, and my go-to is WWE's doctors.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. Have you been able to catch any of Mance Warner or Steph DeLander's work? What do you think of those two prospects?
I haven't, Conrad, I'm not familiar with him, and just sit here and bullshit you. It's always he's got a good upside or whatever. I'm not that familiar with his work. I know I've heard of him plenty of times. He's done a nice job in social media of getting his name out there. What do you think of his work?
I think he's a great character. I think a character is what wrestling needs at different times. And I think he's been ready for TV for a long time. I was thrilled to see him in TNA, kind of surprised by the news today, and hope that they land on their feet wherever they may be headed to next. But I feel like they're going to be successful. Sure.
Well, there's no situation where we can say that, oh, we got plenty of talent, plenty of stars. If Mance Warner is as good as you say he is, and I got no reason to think you're wrong, then it's up to him to create his own legacy and create his own body of work. And so, I hope he makes it. The business needs new and fresh, and he would certainly fill the void in that regard.
Fingers crossed for Mance and Steph. Excited to see what they do next.
How good is she? How good is she?
Oh, she's good. She's good. She's got a really solid social media following and online following too. Like wherever they land, they're going to have a built-in fan base.
That's good.
Yeah, they had success on the indies, then they had success in TNA. I think they've had anytime you have those grassroots campaigns that grow, that just snowballs and gets bigger and bigger. And I think they'll check both of those boxes.
Okay.
I do want to ask you, about some other news. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but this past Tuesday night, as you and I are recording last night, Jeff Jarrett debuted a new documentary that aired on CW Nashville, and it's on his YouTube now. It's called The Heart of a Promoter. And I don't know if you're familiar with the story, but I guess he nor his dad ever wrestled or promoted a match in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Of course, that's just north of Nashville, and Nashville was a staple and hub for many, many years.
Right.
But as a general rule of thumb, I guess Jeff's dad always said, hey, you'll always disappoint somebody. So no matter what you do, never run in your hometown. And well, last October, the Parks Commission was doing a fundraiser and they asked Jeff to wrestle in his hometown. So after 39 years in the wrestling business, he wrestled for the very first time in his hometown and they documented it. And I thought it was a really cool peek behind the curtain of not the Double J character, but the guy who's grown up in the wrestling business, Jeff Jarrett. Have you had a chance to see the documentary? And what do you think about those type pieces in 2026? Once upon a time, it would have been considered, killing the business or whatever it may be to show just a day in the life. But I think nowadays, man, that's all old hat and we need more of that sort of thing.
I like those documentary type pieces a lot. I'm sure I'll watch it at some point in time in the very near future. But Jeff's got a very unique background. Grandpa, grandma, dad, it's a family scenario. And I like those kind of documentaries, to be honest with you. So I'm sure I'll check it out. But he's got a very interesting past. And it really is, as much as anybody can talk about the Von Erichs or the McMahons or all these famous last names, the Jarretts rank right up there because they started early and they've been doing it a long time. So I got great respect for the Jarrett family. And I remember Jan, my late wife Jan, when we lived in Wilton, Connecticut. Mr. McMahon had brought Jerry Jarrett into the company, and Jerry was so homesick it was sad, it's pathetic. And I was all seriousness, not making fun of him, but he came to our place and Jan would cook and he would eat and cry, just be beside himself. So, but he missed home, and that's what you have a lot of times. These Southern boys, these country boys, like good old JR, you miss your roots sometimes, and that's why last week I had an appearance in Oklahoma City at the fairgrounds, and it was a huge success. A lot of people in line. And I was signing cards and signing all kinds of stuff. So I had a great time with that. And it's just part of my heritage, part of my background. And I think that's the thing about Jeff. Jeff's got a great story to tell. And I wish him the very best on his documentary.
Hey, let's talk about somebody else we need to wish the very best. The new happy owner of some Hulk Hogan boots. I don't know if you saw this, but over the weekend, wrestling history was made, Jim. Somehow, some way, the boots that Hulk Hogan wore at the very first WrestleMania sold for over $1 million.
Wow.
This happened through Heritage Auctions. And as a reminder, these boots sold in 2023 for $66,000.
Oh, nice return on your investment.
Indeed. Here's the story. Hogan autographed the boots and made sure he wrote on the side something along the lines of, hey, I wrestled Andre the Giant in Madison Square Garden. These are my real boots, and that's my real blood. Wow. And he autographed the outside. And on that, the boots sold for $66,000. The new owner used a photo matching service to see, hey, where else did he wear these boots? Because it's understandable. For years and years and years, Hulk Hogan wore yellow boots. So how do we know which boots Well, this photo matching service was able to show that not only was it used in this poster, which was the poster that was cited and identified in the original sale, but hey, where else did he wear these? And the answer was the very first WrestleMania.
Wow.
And there were tells, and you could see little creases in the boots and wear on the boots that would prove, no, these are the same boots he wore that day. So the idea that Muhammad Ali was there and it was in Madison Square Garden and Mr. T's there and Roddy Piper, and it's the very first WrestleMania. These days we say, oh, WrestleMania 41, WrestleMania 42. Back then it was just WrestleMania. With buyer's premium, Jim, it sold for $1 million. This is officially the first and most expensive wrestling collectible. And as a guy who has more than one pair of boots in his house, I'm sure you're pretty excited about that news.
I'm proud. I'm happy with the guy because it can't be replicated. It's one of one.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be one of one. So good for him. You got a hell of a buy. That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. I wonder what the guy does for a living that bought the boots for $1 million.
I got my own theories on that. I don't think it's that sort of deal. I think this is a sale with a business component attached to it that we don't know yet. And I think they've established a new comp. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to wrestling collectibles in the next few weeks, but we'll be talking about it right here. What do you think is the most valuable collectible out there? Like, is there anything that could beat the Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 1 boots for you, Jim?
Well, not to break my arm patting myself on the back, but I got Stone Cold Steve Austin's black boots that he wore when he won his first title signed. Low cut, Austin style. He gave them to me back in that period of time, and I've cherished them ever since. So I don't know. For me, I've got the thing that I cherish the most. That's those boots from Stone Cold signed. And ironically, I was looking at them the other day, and Deborah signed them as well. So I don't know what that means, good, bad, or indifferent, but Steve was very kind to, because he's worked all his life to get to WWE in a main event level. And so, golly, I think that that was a dream come true for him. And for him to give me those boots was very humbling, to be frank about it.
Let me ask you, we know that Austin won the belt for the first time in March of '98 when he wrestled Shawn Michaels at the Fleet Center at WrestleMania 14.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he married Deborah in September of 2000. So I'm curious, do you think the boots are from WrestleMania 14 or are they perhaps from WrestleMania 17?
No, I think 14.
Okay.
I think 14. I mean, not going to down the hill, but I think that's accurate. And he was very gracious by donating, by gifting me those boots.
Yeah, man, what a collectible. We want to hear from you guys. What do you think is the most rare and expensive wrestling collectible out there? WrestleMania 14 boots from Stone Cold sounds pretty badass to me. WrestleMania 1 Hulk Hogan's fetched $1 million. What will, if anything, beat that $1 million estimate? Let us know in the comments below here on YouTube at grillingjr.com. Jim, before we watch some wrestling, and I'm pretty excited about us doing that, I wanted to briefly touch on the pay-per-view that I can't believe it's finally almost here. It's next weekend, and it's in Los Angeles at the Crypto.com Arena. It's AEW Revolution, and we're recording before Dynamite. So as you're listening, maybe there's been another match to announce, but what a lineup there is. This is lining up to be low-key what might be the pay-per-view of the year. You've got MJF and Hangman Adam Page in a last chance Texas death match for the AEW world title. The stipulation being here, if Page loses, he'll never be able to challenge for the world title ever again. What a main event that is. Arguably your hottest baby and your hottest heel. Sign me up for that. But then the tag titles amongst probably the two hottest tag teams in AEW history and of modern recent wrestling history. FTR and the Young Bucks once again. Man, put it in my veins. I can't get enough of it. How about a no time limit match for the AEW Continental match? This is Takeshita challenging Jon Moxley. They went to a 20-minute time limit draw in Australia. There'll be no time limits here, but just announced that perhaps the match I'm somehow most excited about. Andrade El Idolo has been on an absolute tear since he came back to AEW, and he's going to be facing Bandito. You want to talk about two ass kickers? This may be the best 4-match card we've seen yet. I know that the matches will get longer. I mean, the card will get longer. We'll have more added, but right out of the gate, this is one hell of a pay-per-view, Jim.
Yeah, it's booked real well. It's booked real well. Tony Khan and his staff, I think, have done an outstanding job in putting the attractions on the pay-per-view that people most want to see. And there's the opportunity for the talent. I hope they all realize it and understand it, that there's an opportunity for them to be a star on a major show. And I know that's what's expected of them. That's why it was booked that way. That's why they're given the opportunities. So it's a hell of a card, man. I mean, I'm telling you, and so I've been with AEW since day one. I don't remember a better pay-per-view card based on what's booked thus far in my recollection.
Well, something you don't want to miss is what Blue Chew's doing. They're a day one advertiser here on Grilling JR, and you already know what they're doing. I mean, they've really leveled the game up, but now they've got something brand new. I think you've got to try. They dropped something crazy. We're talking Blue Chew Gold. It's the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand, but buddy, this ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. No, so Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue, and it works in as little as just 15 minutes. There's 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and body. You'll be able to get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Peak passion and peak performance all in a single tablet. Forget Netflix and chill. This is Netflix and fill. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at bluechew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month order of Blue Chew Gold with the promo code JR. That's promo code JR. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast. And Jim, not only can we count on Blue Chew every week, we can also count on you calling some fantastic in-ring action. And we went way in the archives here for a joint show between Ring of Honor and New Japan. It's called Honor Rising Japan. This is from 2017. It went down on February 27th, 2017. So nearly 10 years ago, just over 9 years ago. But again, we're going to recap. We've got Cody, and at this point, he's not able to be called Cody Rhodes. He's just Cody, and he's teaming with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Yes, those 4 guys 18 months later would change the game. But they're going to be taking on the Briscoes and Okada and Will Ospreay. This is a pretty bad ass card. I mean, you want to talk about loaded for bear. This has all the star power and then some, don't you think?
Oh yeah. The thing I like about matches like this is that it's good to see who's giving you a little bit extra. Excuse me. Because I know that everybody wants to get over. Everybody wants to be a star. And the way that you do that, you get in matches involving other stars, other main event guys, and you raise your game to their level in that respect. Or you challenge them to exceed their normal levels and play up to a higher crescendo. So I like these kind of matches because all the talents know that they're going to have limited time in the ring because there's 8 of you. And so maximizing your minutes in an 8-man tag is supremely important.
Well, let's do it. Without further ado, I'm fired up to see it. Here we go for Cody, Kenny, the Young Bucks, and on the other side, it's the Briscoes, Okada and Ospreay. My goodness, buckle up, boys and girls, and tell a friend about grillingjr.com. Jim's never seen this match. You may have never seen this match, but you're about to enjoy it with commentary from the voice of wrestling. Let's do it right now.
A lot of moving parts in this match. A lot of great young talent too. Cody with a different hair color. He's worked so hard on his physique. Spent a lot of time in the gym. Hard knife edge chops. You can hear them and you can see them, and Cody can feel them. It's unique how the rings are mic'd. The audio of the rings is different in a lot of buildings, a lot of scenarios like tonight, like this match. Innovative offense. Young Bucks, so popular, so explosive. Big right hand missed. It's almost like this is a feeling out moment in this match. When the pace quickens, it normally sees the Bucks gain an advantage. That's their comfort zone. Bucks having a moment there. Bucks having some fun on the outside of the ring here. It's interesting to think where the careers of these men have traveled since this match. Ospreay so charismatic, so innovative with his offense. You're glad when he gets healthy. Cody and Omega sharing a moment. Two of the great stars in all of pro wrestling. There's Kenny. Bucks having a moment to recollect, regenerate their offense, get back in control. Control and momentum, so important in any pro wrestling match. There's a tag. The thing about all these guys know that they have the ability and the skill set to end this match just about any time they get the opportunity. Cody having some fun. And here comes Kenny Omega, a man that many consider the greatest one-on-one wrestler in the world today. Then and now. Backbreaker. Somebody asked me one time, what do you think makes Omega so good? And I said, he limits his big mistakes. The train wrecks, the crash and burns. He limits those as much as he can, which is hard to do considering his style. Look at this teamwork. Referee seems to be at a loss of what to do. You got too many men in the ring, that's what you got to do. Kenny got his in. Ospreay was the victim of that assault. Bucks navigating the ship here, it would seem. A little crowd participation. This certainly is a departure from old school six-man wrestling. Ospreay would love to make a tag right now. Swing and a miss. Back elbow, when you leave your head exposed, that's what's going to happen more often than not. Look at Ospreay. Ospreay looking to make a tag there, but nobody was home. Wow. That was noisy. Isn't it amazing? And we're talking about pace so much that how this match is, I don't want to say it's ground to a halt, but it's slowed down a lot. Whoa. A lot of misses here. Man, Ospreay must feel like a punching bag. You know, it's noticeable how much muscle that Ospreay has put on since until now and from this time. If that makes any sense. He's filled out. This could do it. But it doesn't. Bucks are having a hard time believing how that one went down. One thing we can say that Ospreay showed his resilience as Kenny Omega is tagged in. Anytime you can see Omega or any of these guys in the ring on a major event like a pay-per-view that's coming up, you don't want to miss it because they'll bring you their best and challenge the other guys in the card to exceed those limits. And few are able to, and few do. It's refreshing to see that there's some cooperation between promotions in a match such as this. And I just got to believe, without sounding too pessimistic, that Ospreay's on his last legs here. Omega not going to make any mistakes in this maneuver. Reverse chin lock, crimp in the neck. Ospreay trying to generate some enthusiasm in the crowd. Try to rebuild some momentum for his team. Look at Ospreay fight back. The aerial assassin. Will Ospreay doesn't mind flying, doesn't mind taking a chance. Ospreay's getting beat like a government mule. But like I said, the thing that highlights to me is his resilience. Omega desperately holding on to the ankle of Ospreay to try to prevent a tag. It's got to be very frustrating to put this much punishment on somebody and then they'll get back in the hunt. That's what Ospreay's trying to prevent right now, is Omega getting some momentum and building some momentum here. Anybody else find that beating on the mat annoying? Here's one of my favorites. Okada and Cody. Boy, these are two greats, huh? Seeing it right here on Grill and JR. We appreciate you tuning in. We like bringing you these older matches. See how guys have developed and what they're doing. Okada building that momentum, and that fire is blazing. First time I saw Okada was in Tokyo. And I thought then at that time he was just sensational. And isn't it amazing how much better Cody has continued to get? These are formative matches with great stars who have gone on to become bigger than life. I love the unorthodox nature of the Briscoes. They beat you, hurt you in a lot of ways. I can tell you that right now. Omega set up for the kill. Briscoes are an amazingly popular team at one point in time. A car accident derailed part of their career, and that's a big chance right there, taking a big chance on the outside. But no crash and burn yet. Oh, you don't imagine how much pain these guys put in their own bodies by doing maneuvers like that. Okada and Kenny. A one-on-one match. Oh, look at this. Great athleticism and fearlessness. Cody looks like a different man with that dark hair. It's been amazing and really wonderful to see how he's matured and how he's developed. He's now one of the biggest stars in all of pro wrestling globally. We sure enjoyed his time in the AEW and, of course, here in ROH. Welcome to the dance, boys. Thanks for coming. I don't see how these guys can stay in one piece for extended lengths of time doing maneuvers like that. Leaving Omega and Omega's got something wrong with his right shoulder. Omega and Okada. Boy, they've made pro wrestling famous in a lot of continents. It's the most desirable one-on-one match at one time there was in the business, in my opinion. Boy, those uppercuts are just damning. And Nafet's chop found its mark. Okada's so smooth. Oh, my God. Now, that was a shocker. That was a slobber knocker if there ever was one. Omega looking to end it. Teamwork is what you're seeing right now. Like I said, a lot of moving parts are going to be in this match. Referees lost half-ass control because there's too many men in the ring, ref. Boy, this is so personal. So personal. Oh! Three-way super kick down the face of Okada. Okada sent for the ride, but counters it that quickly, that dangerously, and that effectively. Cody power slam. Man, this is non-stop athleticism. It's hard to keep up with it, to be honest with you. Those jabs look pretty, but they're not going to beat anybody. I'll tell you this, the Briscoes never die. They always come back. They're fighting back all the time. Great heart. Great heart. Beautiful drop kick by Okada. Beautiful drop kick. As pretty as it gets. Kenny being put into a position that he's not going to enjoy tomorrow morning. Because what goes up's got to come down. Look at this. High risk. Suplex off the top. Man, Omega's getting the hell beat out of him right now. He tried to get his legs up and protect himself, but I don't think he was fully successful with that. Okada now captivating this audience. One of the best things that AEW has done is to bring in Okada. He never gives you a bad match. He can wrestle main events with anybody at a main event level. And there is a difference in wrestling a main event style match than a normal match. Swing and a miss. And that didn't miss. That knee caught Okada right in the jaw on the left side of his face. A collision with Kenny. It's hard to call these Okada and Kenny matches. They don't stop. We're always looking for that next big move, that next opportunity. Cody and Ospreay. And how long's it been since you heard that? Cody and Ospreay one-on-one in this 8-man tag match. Impressive. Can Cody withstand that? Nice suplex. A hook of the inside leg. And a near fall created. Ospreay looks scared that he almost got his ass pinned. So then you begin to wonder what's it going to take. Young Bucks, Ospreay, Hall of Fame names. There's a cover and a near fall. Ospreay with a kick to the back of the head of Cody. Cody blocking it. What a beautiful transition. And a 3 count. Crossroads pays the dividends. One more time. Cody very happy that he was on the winning end of that situation. That was a hell of an 8-man tag. So the great talents of that generation, and many of them still are. Nice match here on Grill and JR. Glad you tuned in to join us. Hope you're enjoying these matches. They're a little challenging to call because people know you're not live, so you do more of a narration than you do play-by-play. Impressive group of lads right there.
There it is, man. The Elite. We know it would eventually go on to become All Elite Wrestling. Of course, first All In was going to happen. That was February of 2017. As a reminder, the prior month was Wrestle Kingdom 11. That's where Okada beat Omega in a 5-star match for 46 minutes and 45 seconds.
Wow.
About 3 months, maybe 4 months after the match we just saw, we would have a rematch with Okada and Omega that went to a time limit draw, 60 minutes. But at the G1 Climax in 2017, we would finally get the third match. Kenny Omega gets a win. So at that point, it was Okada won, Kenny won, and there was a time limit draw. And then the match that broke the Richter scale happened in June of 2018. This was the no time limit, best 2 out of 3 falls. Kenny Omega gets the win and goes ahead 2 matches to 1 in the trilogy. And we know that we actually had yet one more match, and that was this past July in Arlington. So they've had a total of 5 matches. Okada wins the most recent one, this time in AEW. Of course, the previous 4 were always in New Japan. But at this point, Okada and Kenny Omega, sort of the modern day equivalent of Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat, they are now tied at 2 apiece and 1 tie. So you got to think at some point a 6th match would happen. Sign me up for as many Okada Omega matches as we can watch. I don't think I'll get tired of those, Jim.
No, me neither, Connie. And the thing about it is just put my fat ass in a seat in front of the television or at the arena and give me some more of that. They just they put me in awe every time I watch them compete and perform. So and thank goodness AEW's got them, and we're going to see some quality like that match. Those 2 yahoos. We're going to see more of that at the upcoming pay-per-view, Connie.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because there's like under 1,000 tickets left. So hurry right now and go pick up tickets while you still can in Los Angeles. It's going down next Sunday, March 15th. I think I may actually go to this one. The card looks so great. I hope that JR is going to be there too, but this is shaping up to be a sleeper card. I know we always say it here, but AEW seemingly always delivers on pay-per-view. I don't think next weekend is going to be any exception. Go out of your way to check it out. And don't forget to tell a friend about what we're doing here at Grilling JR. We've got some of the greatest wrestling matches in history, and we've got the voice of wrestling introducing you to those. And it's happening right now every week for free on our YouTube. Just go hit the subscribe button at grillingjr.com. Be sure to turn on the notifications bell. You don't want to miss us the next time we're live. Jim, this was a lot of fun. I'm excited. You know, we've started our march towards WrestleMania season. Of course, on the way, we're going to have a fabulous AEW pay-per-view. This is maybe the most exciting time of the year to be a wrestling fan, do you think?
Oh, I think it's certainly right there, buddy. Certainly right there. It's my heart's beating faster because of what I anticipate seeing in the next few days.
Looking forward to it. Make plans to join us here next week. We'll, of course, be previewing the entire full card for AEW Revolution. We're also going to be watching some real classics back in the coming weeks. We've got Nigel McGuinness and Tyler Black. You know him these days as Seth Rollins. We've got FTR and the Briscoes. We've got a singles match with Kenny Omega and Cody. We've got AJ Styles and Low-Ki. We've got CM Punk and Samoa Joe. We've got a lot of great stuff coming your way later this year here on Grilling JR. Make plans to join us. And if you'd like to see all of these great matches in Ring of Honor history, you can watch them right now as a part of Honor Club. Just go to watchroh.com. Greatly appreciate Tony Khan and everybody who works at Ring of Honor for providing us with that footage every week. But this is just a small sample size of what you can see. It's only like $9 a month. And not only do you get Ring of Honor TV every week, which they just started doing studio wrestling this past Sunday down in Jacksonville, but you also get the PLEs and incredible archives. I mean, a who's who from AJ Styles all the way on down the line from 2002 to now at watchroh.com. Jim, this was a blast, man. I mean, all that star power, and how young did Will Ospreay looking at? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, really it is. Great talents, great effort. You notice the thing I noticed about matches like that, you know, it wasn't a cold match because they had TV building up to it and had a story behind it. But you notice the effort that these guys all put out Nobody was laying on their ass. Everybody was taking nice, crisp bumps. They're telling a good story. So I appreciate the respect and how these guys honor the wrestling business. They do it each and every week. And I can tell you when AEW gets to LA, it'll be Katie bar the door. Who the hell was Katie anyway? I never knew her.
I don't know, but I hope she did indeed bar the door just in time for our episode this week. Tell a friend and join us next week where we see JR do what he does best. He is the voice of wrestling right here on Grilling JR.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Tell a friend about what we're doing. You got any suggestions on matches you'd like for me to call? Here we are. So thank you for tuning in and supporting our cause. We appreciate you. We're very grateful, and thank you very much.